What is it?
It's your father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
What's up, everyone? This is Disney Plus Deets, where we break down everything you need to know about your favorite Disney Plus movies and series. I'm Kenneth.
And I'm Marcellus, and not to toot our own horns, but we're pretty much the biggest Disney Plus fans out there.
No, let's do it. Toot toot, beep beep. That's right.
Let's get into it.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I saw Star Wars A New Hope for the first time, and my mind was 100% blown.
This movie changed the game forever. I can't even imagine a world without Star Wars. I quote it literally all the time.
Like when you tell me, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Exactly. Star Wars is a huge part of the culture, and it all started with A New Hope.
Writer-director George Lucas had the idea for Star Wars even before he made his first feature film, 1971's THX 1138. He always loved Flash Gordon, a space opera comic strip about a heroic young adventurer. Lucas was also impressed by Akira Kurosawa's classic samurai movies.
And what do you get when you combine interplanetary adventures with samurai moves? Jedi Knights. By 1973, Lucas had handwritten a 10-page treatment for Star Wars, which he called an epic space fantasy.
To sell his idea, Lucas needed to show people how the movie would look. So he added NASA photos of satellites and spaceships to his treatment, as well as hand-drawn illustrations of a goggle-faced alien and a group of warriors fighting a furry creature. Early drafts of the script confused Lucas's filmmaker friends. Screenwriter Willard Height thought nobody would understand the Star Wars universe just from the screenplay. Height didn't get it until Lucas personally explained his ideas and acted out some of the scenes.
I would have loved to see that. My favorite fact about the movie's early days was the characters' original names. At first, Luke was Captain Starkiller, Princess Leia Organa was Leia Aquila, and Obi-Wan Kenobi was Kane Highsinger.
Yeah, I'm glad they went ahead and changed those. Help me, King Highsinger, you're my only hope. It just isn't the same. Lucas went into the casting process with a strong idea of how his character should look and act. Mark Hamill landed the role of Luke, the unlikely hero who came from humble beginnings. Harrison Ford was cast as Han Solo, a cowboy, but instead of the fastest horse in town, he has the Millennium Falcon, the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
For the princess, Lucas wanted viewers to see a strong, independent leader fighting for her people, as opposed to some fragile fairy tale kind of princess. And he found that in Carrie Fisher.
Rounding out the cast was Alec Guinness as Ben Kenobi, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and Kenny Baker as R2-D2.
And one of the most iconic villains of all time, Darth Vader. He was played by two people. David Prowse physically portrays him, but that menacing voice that terrifies us all is none other than James Earl Jones, who recorded all of his lines in one 2.5-hour session.
So Darth Vader and Mufasa in Disney's The Lion King have the same voice. Talk about having range as an actor. Jones played two of the most iconic dads in cinematic history.
Wait, are you telling me that Darth Vader is Luke's father?
Alice.
I'm joking. I just like the suspense. Production illustrator Ralph McQuarrie built out the look and feel of the movie with 21 concept art paintings and hundreds of sketches. Planets, vehicles, animals, robots, basically everything about how Star Wars looks goes back to him.
Thank you, Ralph McQuarrie, for giving us banthas.
Seriously? The whole Star Wars universe at your fingertips and you shout out the hairiest beast on Tatooine?
Hey, they provide blue milk. They're adorable and useful.
Speaking of Tatooine, desert scenes were shot on location in the North African Republic of Tunisia and in Death Valley, California.
Look at how slow C-3PO was walking. He was walking like my auntie.
Yes. Just got somewhere to be, but they're gonna take their time.
Oh, look at Grand Moff Tarkin. He is one heartless man and one of my favorite Star Wars villains, played by Peter Cushing. Would you fear him less if you knew that he was wearing house slippers in the scenes that you don't see his feet? The boots he got from wardrobe were too small, so he changed into comfy shoes whenever he could.
Listen, Kenneth, I would do the same thing. And what about this death-defying swing? They did it in a single take and were actually only swinging a few feet above a soundstage floor. Fisher was nervous about the scene, but not because of a fear of heights. She was afraid her hair would fall off.
Hold that hair, girl. Let's talk about my favorite sidekick. On set, R2-D2 was a real working robot. Whenever it rolled around on 3 legs, that was a radio-controlled prop. But when R2 was on screen with only 2 legs, believe it or not, actor Kenny Baker was actually inside the drawing.
Wow. And we can't talk about A Galaxy Far, Far Away without mentioning the making of the iconic opening crawl itself. The studio pushed Lucas to have a narrator read the opening text out loud, but he refused. It wasn't a part of his vision.
Lucas made Star Wars A New Hope with none of the advanced digital tools filmmakers have today. What he did have was a vision of the future of movies. He hoped that someday directors would be able to create anything they could imagine, just like writers and painters.
Lucas didn't direct again for 21 years after this movie. Instead, he dedicated his life to building digital tools for filmmaking. He ultimately helped to create digital editing, new sound techniques, and digital cameras.
And that's our show for today. In making this episode, we found the making of Star Wars, the definitive story behind the original film by J.W. Rinzler, especially helpful. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, but when I was on my bike, I just knew I was in the X-Wing.
Oh, Ken.
I'm just gonna say that right
Tell
now.
me about it.
I rode all over my neighborhood and I was in a galaxy far, far away. You couldn't tell me nothing, even though I was right on the street.
Yes.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, now streaming on Disney+.
Take care of yourselves and the planet, and we'll see you next time. Marcellus and Ken signing off.
So you think I got what it takes to become a Jedi?
The Force is telling me I shouldn't answer that question.
That's not how the Force works.